In 2023, a man was offered 1.4 billion euros. Not as a salary, not over a lifetime, 1.4 billion euros as a single contract. He said no. That man was Lionel Messi, 8-time Ballon d'Or winner, the greatest footballer alive, and possibly the worst businessman of his generation. Meanwhile, the man he's been compared to for 20 years just became the first footballer in history to reach billionaire status. And here's what nobody wants to say out loud. On the football field, the debate is eternal. In business, it's not even close. Today, we're breaking down the GOAT formula behind Cristiano Ronaldo's $1.4 billion empire. And we're going to find out exactly how much money Messi left on the table, and whether that was genius or insanity. But I'm also going to show you something that goes deeper than the numbers. Because this story is not really about Ronaldo and Messi. This story is about two completely different philosophies of success. Two different answers to the same question. What does it mean to win? And by the end of this video, you are going to know which philosophy is yours. Stay with me, because this one is going to change how you think. Let me be clear about what this video is not. This is not about who is better at football. That debate has been raging for 20 years, and we are not settling it today. Leave your opinion in the comments. We'll get to that. This is about something different, something more dangerous. This is about the GOAT formula, applied to business. Because here is the truth. The football field is their office. But the decisions they made off the pitch, those will outlive every trophy, every goal, every Ballon d'Or. When you are 60 years old, you will not remember which Champions League goal Messi scored in 2011. But you will see his name on a hotel or on a brand, or you won't, because he chose different. This is the story of two predators. One who hunted everything, one who chose his prey carefully, and only one of them became a billionaire. Now, before we get into the numbers, I need to take you back to where it all started, because you cannot understand what Ronaldo and Messi built without understanding where they came from. And when you hear where they came from, everything changes. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on February 5th, 1985, in Funchal, Madeira, a small island off the coast of Portugal. His father, José Diniz Aveiro, worked as a gardener for the local municipality. His mother, Maria Dolores, cleaned houses and cooked for other families. They lived in a 2-room house, no hot water, no space. 4 children sharing whatever little they had. Ronaldo has said in interviews that his childhood home was so small that his bedroom was literally a storage room. He has said he watched his father drink to cope with a life he never wanted, and he made a decision, a quiet, burning, absolute decision. I will never live like this. I will never be broke. I will never depend on anyone. That decision, made by a kid in a tiny room in Madeira, is the seed of everything. The $1.4 billion, the hotels, the CR7 brand, the lifetime Nike deal, the Saudi contract, all of it begins in that room. Because Ronaldo did not just want to be a great footballer, he wanted to escape permanently. He wanted to build something so big, so solid, so unbreakable, that poverty could never find him again. That is not ambition. That is survival instinct turned into a business empire. And that changes how you see every move he ever made. At 12 years old, Ronaldo left Madeira to join Sporting CP's academy in Lisbon. He cried every night for weeks. He was a child, alone, far from home, with an accent so thick that other kids mocked him mercilessly. But he trained. He trained when everyone else was sleeping. He trained on his days off. He trained with an obsession that his coaches found alarming, not because it was too much, but because they had never seen anything like it before. At 16, he played one game for Sporting CP's first team, just one. But Manchester United were watching. Sir Alex Ferguson signed him immediately, paid £3.5 million in 2003 for a 16-year-old, and the moment Ronaldo landed in Manchester, the brand building began. Not consciously, not strategically, not yet, but the foundation was being laid. Every performance, every goal, every profile piece in the English press, every Nike commercial, the world was learning a name, and that name was becoming a product. By the time Ronaldo moved to Real Madrid in 2009, for what was then the world record fee of £80 million, he already had endorsement deals worth tens of millions. Nike, Armani, Samsung, Coca-Cola, Castrol. But something shifted in Madrid, because in Madrid, Ronaldo didn't just play football. He watched how the club operated as a global brand. He watched Florentino Perez sell the Real Madrid identity to the world. He watched how a football club could be a media company, a fashion brand, a tourism engine, and a sports organization all at once. And Ronaldo thought, if a club can do this, why can't a person? Why can't I? That question became CR7. By 2025, Cristiano Ronaldo's net worth stands at approximately $1.4 billion. Forbes estimates his annual pre-tax earnings at over $260 million. $260 million per year. Let that sink in. That's $712,000 per day. $712,000 per day. Every day, whether he trains, whether he sleeps, whether he does absolutely nothing. How did he build this? 3 letters. CR7. CR7 is not a jersey number. CR7 is a corporation, a brand that Ronaldo has spent 20 years building with the same obsession he applies to free kicks. Here's what most people don't know. CR7 Hotels. 7 luxury properties developed in partnership with Pastana Hotels. Funchal, Lisbon, Madrid, Paris, New York, Marrakesh. Each room sells the Ronaldo lifestyle. Each room is a billboard. They sell fast. CR7 underwear, launched 2013, turned into a global fashion line, generating hundreds of millions. CR7 fragrances, CR7 gyms, CR7 clothing. Oraculus, his own health and lifestyle app. An esports team, a stake in a cork goods company in Portugal, a media production company, even a restaurant chain. The man put his name on everything, and everything with his name on it sold, because the name itself was the product. Then came the crown jewel, his lifetime Nike deal. In 2016, Nike signed Ronaldo to a lifetime contract, only the second athlete in history to receive one after LeBron James. That deal is projected to be worth over $1 billion over its lifetime. $1 billion from shoes alone. Stop and think about that. While he's sleeping tonight, Nike is selling shoes with his name on them. While he's retired, while he's 80 years old, the machine never stops. And then Saudi Arabia came calling. Al Nasser, a contract worth over $200 million per year. The total package exceeds $400 million over the deal period, the highest paid athlete in human history. Ronaldo said yes, immediately, without hesitation, because that is the predator mindset. Ronaldo does not ask, is this the right image for me? Ronaldo asks, what is the maximum value I can extract from this moment? He sees opportunity, he attacks it, he dominates it. The predator mindset in business is the same as on the pitch. Be everywhere. Take everything. leave nothing on the table. But there is one more piece of this puzzle. One piece that most people completely ignore when they talk about Ronaldo's empire. His agent, Jorge Mendes. Because no analysis of Ronaldo's business success is complete without understanding the man behind the curtain. Jorge Mendes is widely considered the most powerful football agent in the world. He represents Ronaldo exclusively and has done so since Ronaldo was 17 years old. Mendes didn't just negotiate contracts, he architected a commercial strategy. He built relationships with Nike, with Armani, with global media companies, with hotel groups. He opened doors that a kid from Madeira could never have opened alone. And Ronaldo was smart enough to trust him completely. That trust, that partnership, is itself a GOAT principle. The best athletes in the world know that they cannot build an empire alone. Ronaldo on the pitch is unstoppable. But Ronaldo with Mendes behind him, that's a different kind of unstoppable. Now, let's talk about Messi. And this is where it gets complicated. Messi fans, this next part is for you. Comment before I finish. Lionel Andres Messi was born on June 24th, 1987, in Rosario, Argentina, a working-class family. His father, Jorge Messi, worked at a steel manufacturer. His mother, Celia, had a cleaning business. They were not rich, but they were not desperate in the way Ronaldo's family was desperate. And that difference, that subtle, fundamental difference in starting point, may explain everything that came after. Because Messi never had a burning need to escape. He had a burning need to play. At 10 years old, Messi was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency. His family couldn't afford the treatment, which cost approximately $900 per month. The club he played for in Rosario, Newell's Old Boys, couldn't fund it either. The family was running out of options. Then Barcelona called. Specifically, Carles Rexach, Barcelona's technical director at the time, saw Messi train for 5 minutes and knew immediately. He signed Messi on a napkin. Literally, a contract written on a paper napkin. Barcelona agreed to pay for his medical treatment, and the Messi family moved to Spain. Lionel Messi was 13 years old, and here is where his commercial identity begins to diverge completely from Ronaldo's. Because from the moment Messi arrived at Barcelona, the club handled everything. The contracts, the endorsements, the image rights, the financial planning. Barcelona was the parent company, and Messi was the product, but also the talent, also the face, also the heartbeat of the entire organization. He never had to think about business. He never had to build a brand. He just had to play football, and he played it better than anyone who has ever lived. For 17 years, Messi's commercial world was managed, first by Barcelona, then increasingly by his father, Jorge Messi, who became his agent and business manager. Jorge Messi is the anti-Mendes. Where Mendes is global, aggressive, deal-obsessed, Jorge is quiet, protective, family first. He built Messi's commercial portfolio carefully, deliberately, almost conservatively. The result was a smaller, but incredibly solid financial position, and some would argue, a far happier athlete. His net worth in 2025, between $650 million and $950 million. Let me ask you something. If you told 10-year-old Messi, the kid whose family couldn't afford his medical treatment, that he would grow up to have $900 million, what would he say? He would not believe you. Because Messi never played football for money. And that, right there, is both his greatest strength and his greatest commercial weakness. Here is what Messi built. MIM Hotels launched 2017. Boutique luxury hotels in Spain. Barcelona, Sitges, Calella de Palafrugell, Beautiful, authentic, very messy. The Messi Store opened 2019. Clothing, merchandise, lifestyle products, direct-to-consumer brand play. Messi Productions, his own media company, founded 2022. To develop content, to control his own narrative. A stake in Socios, blockchain fan engagement platform. Endorsements with Adidas, a lifetime deal. Pepsi, Budweiser, Hard Rock International, Apple TV+, and his social media, over $20 million per year from Instagram alone, on a platform where he has 650 million followers. 650 million followers, more than the population of the United States and all of Europe combined. That is not an accident. That is what happens when you spend 20 years being the most gifted, most authentic, most humble superstar on the planet. The world doesn't just follow you. The world loves you. So let me ask you, does this sound like someone who left money on the table? Then why is Ronaldo worth nearly double what Messi is worth? And why did Messi say no to 1.4 billion euros? Here's what happened. In 2023, when Messi left PSG, Al Ittihad came to him with an offer that made the football world go silent. 1.4 billion euros. The Al Ittihad president confirmed it publicly, and Messi said no. He chose Inter Miami, a struggling MLS club. A contract worth approximately $50 to $60 million per year, a fraction of what Saudi Arabia was offering. His reason? His family wanted America. His children wanted stability. His wife, Antonella, had built a life she loved in Barcelona and then in Miami. And Messi chose his family over €1 billion. Now, before we go any further, I need to tell you about something that almost nobody covers when they talk about Messi's finances. Something that cost him tens of millions of euros and changed his relationship with money forever. In June 2016, a Spanish court found Lionel Messi and his father Jorge guilty of tax fraud. 3 counts. The Spanish tax authorities claimed they had defrauded the Spanish state of 4.1 million euros between 2007 and 2009, using shell companies in Belize, Uruguay, and Switzerland to hide image rights revenue. Messi's defense was that he had signed documents his father told him to sign without fully understanding them. The court didn't buy it. He was sentenced to 21 months in prison, suspended because the sentence was under 2 years and he had no prior criminal record. He also paid a fine of over 2 million euros. But the real cost was not the fine. The real cost was the image. Because Messi, the humble genius, the boy from Rosario, the man who just loves football, suddenly had a story attached to his name that he could never fully erase. Tax fraud. And in a strange way, this scandal clarified Messi's commercial strategy going forward. He became more careful, more curated, more aligned with brands that couldn't damage him further. He started saying no to anything that felt wrong, even if it paid more, including perhaps 1.4 billion euros from Saudi Arabia. Because the last time Messi's financial decisions made international headlines, it did not go well. And maybe, just maybe, the Saudi Arabia no was not just about family. Maybe it was about brand protection, about never again letting money make a decision that his gut told him not to make. Comment below. Do you think the tax scandal changed Messi's approach to money? I want your theory. Now let me show you the scoreboard, because in business, unlike football, the scoreboard is very clear. Round 1, net worth. Ronaldo, $1.4 billion. Billionaire status confirmed. First footballer in history. Messi, $650 to $950 million. Close to, but not quite, the billion mark. Advantage, Ronaldo. Round 2, annual earnings. Ronaldo, over $260 million per year. Salary, endorsements, and business combined. Messi, approximately $130 to $160 million per year. Still extraordinary, but roughly half. Advantage, Ronaldo. Round 3, brand building. Ronaldo's CR7 brand generates over $50 million annually in licensing revenue alone. Multi-industry, hospitality, fashion, fitness, tech, entertainment. He is not just an athlete with endorsements. He is a corporation. Messi's commercial approach is different. Fewer businesses, more curated. He partners with brands that align with his values. He doesn't put his face on everything. The result? Ronaldo's brand has broader reach, higher revenue, more diversification. Advantage, Ronaldo. Round 4, social media power. Here, something incredible happens. Both Messi and Ronaldo have approximately 650 million Instagram followers. They trade the title of most followed human on the platform. Messi charges approximately $2.7 million per sponsored post. Ronaldo, $3.2 million. Both in the top 3 highest earners on social media in the world. Messi's World Cup 2022 victory photo became the most liked post in Instagram history. Over 75 million likes on a single photo. Advantage, draw. Both are weapons. Round 5, the legacy business. This is the round nobody talks about. Ronaldo's businesses will outlive his football career. The hotels operate independently. The fashion lines have their own teams. The app has its own user base. Ronaldo has built a machine that doesn't need him to kick a ball. Messi's businesses are smaller, more dependent on his personal visibility. If Messi retires tomorrow and steps away completely, how strong is MIM Hotels without the face of Messi driving traffic? Advantage, Ronaldo. Round 6, and this one is new. The agent factor. Ronaldo has Jorge Mendes, the most powerful agent in football. A man who has spent 20 years opening commercial doors and maximizing every contract. Mendes is a force multiplier. Every deal Ronaldo makes goes through a system built specifically to maximize value. Messi has Jorge Messi, his father, who is loyal, who is protective, and who has managed his son's career with love and caution, but who has also been implicated in a tax fraud case, who has been more conservative than aggressive in commercial expansion. The agent difference may be worth hundreds of millions of euros over a career. Advantage, Ronaldo. Round 7, the philanthropy factor. This is the round most people think Messi wins, and he might. Messi has donated tens of millions to hospitals, schools, and children's health programs in Argentina and beyond. The Leo Messi Foundation funds education and health initiatives for vulnerable children. Ronaldo has also donated hundreds of millions to hospitals, to disaster relief, to UNICEF campaigns. He is famously one of the highest individual donors to the Portuguese blood bank. In the 2017 Portuguese wildfires, he donated personally. After the 2023 Morocco earthquake, he sent financial aid immediately. In pure charitable giving, this round is a draw. Both are extraordinary in this respect, despite everything they are publicly accused of, despite the tax scandal, despite the ego, despite the controversies. Both men have given away more than most people will ever earn. Advantage, draw. 4 rounds, Ronaldo. 3 draws, 0 rounds, Messi. By every financial metric, Ronaldo wins. But before you close this debate forever, I need to tell you something. Because the GOAT formula is never that simple. Hold on. Before we get to the most important part, the part that changes how you think about your life, I want to ask you something. Right now, in the comments, tell me where you stand. 3 words. Ronaldo won business. Or Messi was right. 3 words. Go. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Because this channel breaks down the mindset behind the world's greatest champions every single week. And we're just getting started. All right, back to the game. I've given you the numbers. Now, I'm going to give you something worth more than any number. The GOAT principles. The mindset lessons that Ronaldo and Messi, together, teach every one of us about building something that lasts. 6 principles. Pay attention to all of them, because one of them is going to hit you differently than the others. And when it does, that's the one you need to act on. GOAT principle number 1. The predator never waits for the right moment. Ronaldo didn't wait until he was retired to build his empire. He started while he was still playing. CR7 Hotels launched when he was at Real Madrid, training 6 hours a day under the most demanding standards in football. He was building a hospitality business at the same time. Most people say, "I'll start when I have more time." Ronaldo said, "I will manufacture the time." He woke up earlier. He delegated to trusted people. He made decisions quickly. He did not need to understand every detail of the hotel business to open a hotel. He needed to trust the right people and put his name on the right product. That is the predator mindset. Not waiting, not planning endlessly, executing while everyone else is sleeping. What are you waiting for? A better moment? A safer environment? More money? More experience? The predator does not wait for conditions to be perfect. The predator attacks the conditions that exist right now. Be honest with yourself. What is the one thing you keep delaying? Because the moment doesn't feel right? Because I promise you, it never will. GOAT principle number 2. Your brand is your second career. Build it before you need it. Ronaldo understood something in his early 20s that most athletes only understand in retirement, when it's too late. Your playing career ends. Your brand doesn't have to. Every deal he signed, Nike, Armani, Herbalife, was not just money. It was brand education. He studied how global brands work. He paid attention to how campaigns were built, how products were positioned, how audiences were targeted. Then he built his own. By the time his football career slows down, Ronaldo won't notice financially. The machine is already running. Most athletes go broke within 5 years of retirement. You know why? Because they built their entire identity around the sport. When the sport ends, the identity ends, the income ends, the purpose ends, and they spiral. Ronaldo will not spiral, because CR7, the brand, doesn't retire when Cristiano Ronaldo, the footballer, retires. This principle applies to you whether you are an athlete or not. You are not your job title. You are not your company. You are a brand. And if you are not building that brand today, while you still have the platform, the energy, and the time, you will regret it the day you need it. GOAT principle number 3. Authenticity is a business strategy, but it has a price. Now, here's where I defend Messi, because this is more complicated than it looks. Messi turned down 1.4 billion euros. From a pure financial perspective, that is objectively leaving the most money on the table in the history of sport. But here's what Messi understood that the headlines missed. His brand is built on one thing: authenticity, humility, being the opposite of everything Ronaldo represents commercially. Messi has never sold out. He has never chased the bag for the bag's sake, and his 650 million followers love him precisely because of that. If Messi had gone to Saudi Arabia, what would have happened to that authenticity? Maybe nothing. Maybe he would have earned 1.4 billion euros and kept his fan base. Or maybe, just maybe, he would have become something his audience no longer recognized. And that brand erosion could have cost him more than 1.4 billion euros over the next 20 years of his post-football life. Think about it this way. Messi's earning power after football is enormous, precisely because the world trusts him, because his endorsements feel genuine, because when Messi wears Adidas, it feels like Messi's choice, not a business decision. The moment that trust breaks, the moment he looks like he's just chasing money, that power evaporates. Maybe Messi turned down 1.4 billion euros to protect hundreds of millions more in future brand value. Is that genius? Or is it the world's most expensive rationalization? I genuinely don't know the answer. But I know what you think, and I want you to tell me. GOAT. Principle number 4. The billionaire mindset sees beyond the game. This is the most important principle. Ronaldo never saw himself as a footballer who had a business on the side. He saw himself as a global brand. That happened to play football. That identity shift changes everything. When you see yourself as a brand, every move has a business dimension. Every interview, every post, every partnership, every city you choose to play in, you are always building. When Ronaldo signed for Al Nassr, everyone laughed. His career is over. Saudi Arabia isn't real football. But Ronaldo didn't choose Al Nassr for the football. He chose Al Nassr because Saudi Arabia was investing $1.5 trillion in sports and entertainment. Because he would be the face of an entire country's transformation. Because he would have more commercial leverage in that market than any athlete in history. He played chess while everyone else played checkers. Saudi Arabia's Sports Vision 2030 plan is not a football story. It is a geopolitical, economic, and cultural transformation. And Ronaldo put himself at the center of it. Before the big names came, before the TV deals, before the global attention, he was already there. That is the billionaire mindset. Not seeing what's in front of you, seeing what's coming next. GOAT principle number 5. Know what you are selling, and never confuse the product with the person. This one is subtle, but it's the one that separates the athletes who build lasting empires from the ones who build expensive problems. Ronaldo knows exactly what CR7 is selling. It is not football, it is aspiration. It is the idea that if you work hard enough, obsessively enough, relentlessly enough, you can go from a 2-room house in Madeira to a billion-dollar brand. Every hotel room, every underwear campaign, every Instagram post sells the same thing. The dream of the predator, the man who refused to lose. And because the product is consistent, the brand is powerful. Messi's brand sells something different. It sells purity. The idea that the greatest player in the world still blushes when he scores, that he still runs to hug his mother after a World Cup final, that he chose his children over €1 billion, and his audience buys that completely. The problem arises when athletes don't know what they're selling, when they try to be aspirational and humble at the same time, when they take the Saudi deal and try to maintain the authentic image, when they launch 12 products in 3 months and flood the market with their name until the name means nothing. The GOAT knows what they are, they know what they sell, and they never, ever dilute it. What are you selling? Not your product, not your service. What is the feeling your audience buys when they choose you? That answer, if you can find it, is worth more than any marketing budget. GOAT principle number 6. The greatest investment is the one nobody else is willing to make in themselves. This last principle belongs equally to both Messi and Ronaldo, and it is the one that connects their stories at the deepest level. Ronaldo's investment in his body is legendary. He sleeps in cryotherapy chambers. He has custom mattresses. He has a nutritionist, a physiotherapist, a personal chef. He trains when injured. He trains on his days off. He trains on Christmas. Estimates suggest he has spent over $200,000 per year for over a decade, purely on his body. That investment paid a return of $1.4 billion. Messi's investment is different, but equally total. He sacrificed his entire childhood. He moved to a foreign country at 13. He underwent years of medical treatment. He built his game, slowly, methodically, for 17 years at the highest level. He missed birthday parties. He missed school plays. He missed everything that normal children had to become the greatest who ever lived. Neither of these men had the life that looks comfortable from the outside, and both of them are richer in money, in legacy, in impact than almost any human being alive. The GOAT formula is not free. It never has been. The question is, what are you willing to invest in yourself that other people are not? So, who won the business war? The answer, by the numbers, is clear. Ronaldo won. $1.4 billion versus $900 million. Bigger brand, more businesses, more annual income, a machine that runs without him. Cristiano Ronaldo is the business GOAT between these two. But here's the twist that changes everything. Winning the business war doesn't tell you which mindset is right for you. Ronaldo's model works because of one thing: obsessive, relentless, 24-hour dedication to brand building. He has no off switch, no moment where the camera isn't on. He is always performing, always selling, always building. He posted on Instagram 44 times in 1 month in 2023. 44 times. That is not social media. That is a second job, run with the same discipline as his first. Can you live like that? Most people can't. And Messi's model, choosing authenticity over money, choosing family over contracts, saying no to 1.4 billion euros because his children wanted stability, might actually be worth more to him than the money he left on the table. Because here is the GOAT formula's final lesson. Success without alignment is just expensive unhappiness. Ronaldo built a billion-dollar empire, but Ronaldo has never stopped, never slowed down, never chosen the quiet life over the spotlight. That is not a criticism. That is who he is. That is his GOAT principle. Messi chose Inter Miami. He walks to training with his children. He eats dinner with his family every night. He plays football because he loves it, not because he needs the money. He turned down 1.4 billion euros and doesn't seem to lose a single second of sleep over it. There is something worth more than 1.4 billion euros. Not everyone knows what it is. Messi does. I think Ronaldo does too. He just made a different choice. And both of those choices are valid. Which one is happier? I have no idea. Which one is richer? We know. But here is the question I will leave with you. Is the richest man in the room always the man who won? The real question isn't who won between Messi and Ronaldo. The real question is, which formula are you building? Are you the predator, taking every opportunity, building every day, seeing yourself as a brand first, everything else second, sacrificing comfort for scale, choosing the billion-dollar contract over the quiet dinner, seeing every city as a market, every handshake as a deal, every sunrise as an opportunity to get further ahead? Or are you the genius, choosing authenticity, protecting what matters, saying no to the money that doesn't align with your life, building fewer things but building them deeper, knowing that the number in your bank account is less important than the feeling you wake up with every morning? Neither answer is wrong, but you need an answer, because without a formula, you're not building anything, you're just reacting. And the GOAT never just reacts. The GOAT decides, then executes, then wins, on their own terms. Here's what I want you to take from today. Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi gave us 20 years of the greatest football rivalry in history. But off the pitch, they also gave us two completely different blueprints for how a champion thinks about money, legacy, and the life they want to build. Ronaldo taught us the predator mindset has no limits. Build before you're ready. Brand yourself before you need to. See every opportunity as a target and attack it. Invest in yourself beyond what's comfortable. See beyond the game you're currently playing. Messi taught us authenticity is a strategy. Saying no is a power move. The biggest number is not always the right answer. Know what you're selling and never dilute it. Protect what makes you irreplaceable. The GOAT formula is not about copying one of them. It's about understanding both and building your version. The version that is true to who you are, what you want, and what you are willing to sacrifice to get there. Now I want one comment from you. Just one. After everything you've just heard, who is the business GOAT? Messi or Ronaldo? And more importantly, which formula are you going to use? Predator or genius? Because that's the only answer that actually matters. If this video gave you something, share it. Right now. Send it to someone who needs to hear it. Someone who is trying to figure out their formula. Someone who is sitting on a decision they keep delaying. Someone who needs to hear that both paths can lead to greatness, but only if you choose one. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we break down these GOAT mindsets every single week. The next one is already in production, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. I'll see you in the next one.